Welcome to this review on the Naboso Duo Insoles. If you clicked on the video, you probably saw and thought, maybe this is clickbait, but I'm interested. And I'm going to tell you about the best insoles that you haven't heard of. So I've been wearing the Naboso Duo Insoles for a little over a month, maybe 5 weeks in total. And if you watch the first video, which I'll link above here, you'll see that I do an initial reaction and also a fitting. So if you just bought them or if you are going to buy them, that video would be a good one to start with as I show you how I cut them and put them in for my shoes. I took the insoles out of my shoes right before, and I basically traced a line in order to make them how they are. So how and why, and also what did I experience is what you're going to get in this video. Let's start with my experience. So after initially putting them on, I got to say that it's an interesting feeling. One of the things that you start to recognize is that during different parts of the day, you feel different parts of the ridges. And that's part of the sensory of the bottom of your feet, the nerve endings. And interesting enough, these ones, the Duo, they're two-sided. There's an activate and there's a perform. And I'm going to get into how these ones might be beneficial for you later on in the video. But keeping with the experience, I will say that it was a very positive one. And the reason why this video is labeled the best insoles, shoe insoles that you haven't heard of, is because in the first video, I shared how I had some foot pain after a long day of work, maybe going into or trying to work out. I would have this pain in my feet after sitting for 8-9 hours. And it made it a process in order to get ready to work out. And having these in for, we'll call it 5 weeks, no pain. And I would say that it makes me want to work out more because you don't have that pain. And that could be applicable to anybody that's watching this video, and why I would consider them the best insoles that I've worn. Now let's talk about how do they work. An analogy that I heard while doing some research on these, and even that I've heard around, is how people that wear shoes, people will say that it's almost like putting a glove on your foot, and that glove will inhibit the nerve endings in our feet. And I tend to not agree too much with that analogy. I say, yeah, that's what shoes do, but the way that people say it is to almost promote barefoot training and barefoot working out, that kind of stuff. And I think of shoes as a safety precaution. When you are walking around in your day-to-day, or if you're even in the gym, shoes are a safety precaution. If you drop a weight, you drop anything, you stub your toe, anything throughout the day, you step on anything, safety. Safety always comes to my mind with shoes. The second thing is that with wearing shoes, there are shoes designed for people that do have different types of joint issues. And so shoes will help that type of impact on the joints. And the reason I bring these up is because it kind of segues into why I think you should buy the insoles, is that these will help with the nerve endings and any type of stimulation to help out the nerve endings on the bottom of your feet. These types of insoles are designed to increase stimulation and therefore hopefully make it more enjoyable and take away any pain that you might have. They do have medical grade insoles for individuals that do have that, and I highly recommend either watching the video, the first video we did, or even checking out the whole line of products that they sell. So how do you choose the level of stimulation? If you go to the Naboso website, you're going to see there are different lines, and you're going to see what they recommend. And the reason why I chose the Duo was because of, one, it was a recommendation from the person at the conference where I got them. But two, it is the ability to use both sides. And I'm going to talk about one of the terms that they use called textured variability in just a bit. But your level of stimulation that you want is going to dictate which shoe insole that you purchase. The next thing on top of that is, how are you going to use them? Is it a day-to-day? Is it for performance? Maybe you are running, or are you on your feet throughout your day in whatever job that you have? That is going to help dictate which one that you purchase. When I first got the insoles, I was raving about them. I told my wife about them. I told the person that cuts my hair about them. And the person that cut my hair had a great point. I was telling her about how they work. I was telling her how they work. And she mentioned, well, won't your feet just get used to the ridges on the insoles that you bought, and therefore won't you need a new pair? So Naboso has this thing called textured variability. And part of that is with stimulation. The brain is very smart. The nervous system is very smart. And when your body gets used to something, an analogy that I heard for this is that when you hear a noise, let's say that you live maybe in the flight pattern of airplanes landing, and after a period of time, how you don't really recognize or hear that the plane's flying over, but somebody that comes over like, wow, that's super loud. How do you get used to that? And then you might say, well, I don't even recognize it anymore. And it's because your nervous system and your body, your sensory, will just tune it out. Same thing will apply with things that maybe are on your feet, that are on your feet, not maybe, that are on your feet. These ridges, you will get used to them. So how can you keep that same sensation and increase performance? So Naboso has this term called texture variability, and the Duo is a one way to utilize this and put it into action. How there is an activate and there is also a perform side of these insoles. And after a period of time, they recommend turning them over so that your feet will continue to feel the different ridges. And then after a certain period of time, turn it over. Another way is that Naboso does recommend getting another pair. They do have packages of insoles. I will say that they can be kind of pricey. The ones that I got are $75, but they range between $50 to $75. And so that can be pricey, but they do have the combo packs. But having this one allows you to utilize this term or this theory that they have of textured variability. As we wrap up this and get into my recommendation, I did try the whole textured variability before. I recorded this last week, and I will say you might be able to do some math and say, oh, well, you wore a month, you just wore one side of it. Yes, I did. And then I wanted to make sure before I recorded this, I tried the other side to see what I experienced. And I did wash my insoles. That's one of the other benefits of having these. I wanted to wash them, and I did right before this because I didn't want everybody to see my socks and my sock that came off onto these. But my recommendation is definitely, if you are experiencing any type of foot pain, you are on your feet quite a bit, that to go check these out. I haven't had any pain in five weeks on my feet. It's definitely noticeable. It's a weird sensation at first. It might feel like you have little needles on your feet. That's maybe too aggressive a way to put it, but you do feel the ridges. But I would definitely recommend these. Get them for your mom. Get them for your wife. Get them for your brother, your sister. That's how much I recommend these. So check these out. Head over to the link in the description. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a little kickback on it. If you found this video useful, make sure you hit that like button, leave us a comment, and subscribe for future tutorials. If you haven't yet, make sure you check out the 3 workouts that we're releasing on Time to Train each week until the end of the year, where we might be releasing more. We'll see. But until then, we'll see you in the next one.